Found out the girl I'm seeing has GHSV-1. Advice please. I'm a female 24 and it's hard for me because it's embarrassing, but very common, and I have the same situation. Honestly, it's up to you. Treat her like a woman who had the gall and spirit to admit that openly. In other words, very well. You massively benefit from it all, while she makes herself vulnerable to ridicule and judgment, not just the stigma. A lot of people remain ignorant spreaders, so show her love and be thankful. Flare-ups are what really make this disease spread, but not telling or even finding out in the first place and ignoring the symptoms out of shame and regret are the reason it's a problem. Super personal decision. I wouldn't engage in that, but that's just me. It's an extremely common condition that many people have and don't even know. Doctors don't even test for it unless asked, because a positive result will in essence freak people out and cause a lot of unnecessary anxiety and stress. They consider it more of a nuisance than a health concern. Personally, I wouldn't let something like that get in the way of being in a happy and healthy relationship, but that is just me. Lol, I mean, you only really have two options. Either you're comfortable with getting it or you're not. Make your choice, and that will inform how you deal with your relationship. I would advise you to keep seeing her, but just be careful when you decide to get intimate. I wouldn't say this is something worth ending things over, especially if you have good chemistry and compatibility. You probably have it too. HSV is so common now that they don't even test for it anymore because the CDC has stated that 90% of the population already has it and most don't even know they have it. Same thing happened to me. Caught it from oral sex. I've had it for 12 years now and never given it to anyone. You just don't have sex during outbreaks. Totally manageable, yet we get treated like we have HIV. It's just cold sores. Educate yourself on it and you'll be fine managing your end of it. Not a big deal. It was very admirable that she told you, but personally, I wouldn't risk it. I don't care that it's a low chance of catching it. At least she told you, which is good. Me personally, I have too much respect for myself to be taking those kind of risks, so if I were you, I would move on. Herpes is for life, remember that. Run like hell. 23 of planet already have it. Run, sorry. If she's taking medication to suppress outbreaks, and she's had it long enough that she can recognize if an outbreak is coming, and she's willing to be honest with you about that, it can be okay. My brother had cold sores. He took Valtrex. He never passed it on to any of his long-term girlfriends who lived with him. When he would have a rare breakthrough, he could feel it coming, and he wouldn't touch her with his lips. Have you had a blood test for HSV? That's a good place to start. Chances are you have it too. There's a lot of research on preventing transmission on the interwebs. From what I've read, a few main things is don't engage in sex during a flare-up. Wash thoroughly after sex. Don't engage in sex if you have any sores on your genital region, razor cuts, etc. And zinc, yes, zinc tablets. From Walmart, both of you can take a regular zinc supplement to manage the virus' ability to reproduce, and therefore keep it dormant and not transmit it. Hope it helps. BTW, this is in no way a complete guide to minimizing risk. There's multiple medical researchers who have their findings online. Go read them. I fell hard for a woman who told me she was infected. We had a whirlwind romance of about 3 weeks, and I was seriously considering starting a serious relationship. Then she had an outbreak and we couldn't have sex. I know it's shallow, but I wasn't willing to have my sex life interrupted on a regular basis. We were both hurt by it. I've had it for years, was married for 30 years, never transmitted it to spouse. There's a great antiviral that can be taken during an outbreak. I only had 1-2 per year, if that were a couple of days, before sex if you're planning. She is a good person, to be honest with you about it. She wants to protect you. I think you should have some further discussion and plan a way forward. Definitely not a deal breaker. Oh, we also had 3 healthy kids. It should be very low impact on your relationship if you are both working together. Protect yourself and move on if you know that you don't already have HSV-1. It's ultimately your decision. But I will tell you that I was given HSV-1 against my will and it has completely destroyed my life. I do not recommend you put yourself in a position to possibly get it.